Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Hiya Toys Exquisite Super Judge Dredd. It's just funny because it's... Anyway, when this got announced, when they said that they were going to make this scale, it's 1/12 scale Judge Dredd, I'm pretty sure every Judge Dredd fan out there got excited and you could hear a collective gasp. Like, oh boy, they're going to do it. And then when they announced that it was going to be a soft goods figure, I'm pretty sure all of those people, except for maybe two, said poop. Dang it, don't want that. And now we have it. They sent this as a review sample, but I'm going to be completely honest with everything I can find good or bad about it. You guys know I'm not into soft goods, but I review them fairly. If they do a good job, they do a good job. It's not something I want to own, but it's something that you might. So I'm going to review it. You'll be able to decide for yourself at the end of this video if you want to let go of those dollar bills for this figure. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I will show you my package quickly. It is a nice box. There's not much going on in terms of seeing the figure on the outside, but you do get this nice artwork, the logo there, of course. High quality, I like it. On the back, you get some comic artwork. Very nice. This is just a sleeve. You take the sleeve off, and you get that artwork, which is also very nice. These are nicer looking boxes, I think, there's nothing on the back, than the Rambo boxes. And then inside you get the clear blisters to hold the figure. It's very high quality packaging. If you're into that sort of thing, you will enjoy opening this figure. For me personally, I appreciate it, but I don't care that much about the packaging, because I only care about what's in it. Alright, so let's take a look at this. And before we do anything, well actually, let's get the height done so I don't forget. Just because I tend to forget. He stands just over 6 1/4 inches, that's including his helmet. So, reasonably 1/12 scale, I would say. That's going to be just a bit over 16 centimeters. Here he is up against a Marvel Legends Darwin. Seems a little small because these are overscaled, so these seem to be true to scale, or at least closer to it. Here he is against the McFarlane Batman, not even close, of course. And then here he is up against Marvel Select, again, not even close. And for those of you who are curious, because I happen to have him out, here he is up against Rambo. He's a lot smaller than Rambo, so scaling might be an issue. He seems a little short. I don't know, maybe Judge Dredd's supposed to be small. I kind of doubt it, though. Maybe they went for the Sylvester Stallone look, where he's like 5'8" or whatever. Alright, so, question of the day. Is what I described in the beginning of this video true for you? Were you psyched and then completely let down by the idea of soft goods? And what do you think after seeing it now? And then let me know again at the end of the video. For me, I was like, awesome. Hiya's been doing a really good job with their action figures. I am psyched. I don't care about Judge Dredd, but it's a cool enough design. And then when they said soft goods, I thought, well, now I'm 0% interested personally. But I know a lot of you guys are, so I will be reviewing it very fairly. I'm not just going to say it's bad because it's soft goods. But let's get into the aesthetic. First thing I noticed is the soft goods look like crap. I gotta be completely honest, that pleather look is terrible. The zipper is huge. It's functional, so if you want to do like a sexy Judge Dredd sort of thing, you could just unzip this and pop out that relatively well sculpted, like it's a pretty darn good sculpt underneath. You could do that, but I'm mostly joking because why would you do that? It's not good. This pleather, it doesn't look good. You can't see any shape of the figure, and it totally destroys articulation. We'll talk about that later, but the look of the suit is terrible. Obviously, we have plastic all over the suit, adorning it with everything other than the main suit, but he looks like he's in some kind of, like, I don't want to even describe it anymore. It doesn't look good. The suit looks terrible. I hate this undersuit completely, not because it's soft goods, because it's a weird material for this scale. It's never going to work, and the giant zipper sucks. Now that that's out of the way, I will say I like the way they did the gold on the shoulder pads with a little bit of shading. That's pretty good. This is held in place with a magnet, and it has a real chain connected to it, so that's pretty good. Sculpt work is very clean on that. The belt looks decent. It's a very soft material. It tends to keep ending up in that one spot, so I don't care for that, but you can move it around. It's a free floating piece, so that's okay. I think the head sculpt is really good, but to me, that helmet is not the right shape. Shouldn't it be more up and down on the sides instead of rounded? It seems too round to me, but you guys can let me know. I'm not a Judge Dredd expert, but to me the shape seems weird, but I love the way they did it. The sculpt work is very clean. The face underneath is really good. The skin tone, I love it. but to me that's a weird look for the shape of the helmet. And then of course we have the sculpted gloves. It's okay. He gets really skinny at the wrists in some weird ways, but it's okay. And then the boots are sculpted okay, but we'll get into those in a minute because some of that's not actual sculpting, it's actual wrinkles. I mean, I guess it's sculpting and wrinkles, but it's questionable. It's definitely questionable. So yeah, aesthetically, it's like, it would have been really good if it wasn't for the undersuit. So it's not terrible, but that blue bodysuit looks terrible to me. That part alone looks terrible, and so it's dragging the rest of the figure down. Will you be able to hide it through posing? Somewhat. Is it going to be super noticeable from a distance while you're looking at it, like on your couch while it's on the shelf? It's probably okay, but if you're handling it, you're going to see how ugly that suit is up close. I don't know if it was a licensing thing. Mine also has this problem going on. I'm missing a chunk of blue back here, and he's got these shiny spots in a few places, like right here too, and here. I think it's from the packaging. So yeah, I don't know if it was a licensing thing where they had to do soft goods or something like that, but the soft goods choice is not good for something like this. With Rambo, okay, you can get away with it, but this? A pleather bodysuit at this scale is never gonna work right. So, I'm going to give it an overall rating of, if you're going to be okay with the bodysuit, then you can probably argue it's like a 7 or 8, because the rest of it looks solid. The proportioning's not bad. But if you're counting how horrible the bodysuit is, which I am, I'm giving you guys some leeway there with that first rating, for those of you who are willing to look past things. But for me, with this bodysuit, it's like a 3 or a 4. It's just terrible, if you ask me. I hate the bodysuit a lot. Okay, now as far as accessories go, they actually did a solid job. You have the one angry head that comes on him in the package, then you get one where his teeth are showing, still really good sculpt work, then one where he's yelling, still pretty decent sculpt work. I'd like to see a little bit more paint in the mouth, too much flesh tone in there, but still solid for sure. For hands, he comes with a trigger finger hand and like a secondary relaxed hand on him in the package, then you get 2 fist hands, a couple more item holding / trigger finger hands, and then I guess 3 more of those, and then 1 of the, you can see what they are. Okay, lots of hands, that's good. For holdable accessories, you get his stick, his his baton, whatever you call that. That's cool. You get his gun, his basic gun that is painted pretty well, and it does fit into his leg holster. Then you get whatever this bigger gun is, like a super version of that gun. That's pretty well done. That's really cool. You get 3 different effect parts for the gun. You get one that's just kind of like a muzzle flash, sort of. Then you get one that's a muzzle flash with a bullet. That's really cool. I love that. Then you get one smoke effect. All very, very nicely done. I like those a bunch. And then you do get a spray paint can that's surprisingly well done. Like, that's really nice. So that's good. Then you get a standard display stand with a gigantic arm. So that's okay. And somebody mentioned, well, it's gigantic because you can take the sections out. Yes, you can, but it's still gigantic. There's no possible way you need an arm that big for a figure this size. I mean, I guess if he's like flying or something, but for Rambo and Judge Dredd, I don't think it's necessary. But either way, you get those. And then you do also get this display stand, which will also receive the arm. It says Hiya Toys. That might actually be on the inside. Let me see. Yeah, it's on the inside. So it says Hiya Toys on the accessory baggie, but on this part it is just clear plastic that says Judge Dredd. And that's obviously for holding your accessories, and you can put your figure on it if you want to. So decent spread of accessories, like those are the best part by far. And the figure is solid other than the pleather so far. Again, at a distance you can probably ignore it. I want to be clear, but oh man, it's not a good example of how to do soft goods. At all. It's not what I would want. Can I get his collar zipped up even higher? I don't think I can get it any higher. Maybe it came that way and I shouldn't have unzipped it. I don't know. Anyway, okay, let's talk about the articulation on this guy, because maybe it's really good. I already know, but maybe it is for you guys. Alright, so double ball pegs and ball pegs in the neck and head. It moves around nicely. That's fine. It's really good. I have no issues with that at all. Perfectly reasonable. For the shoulders, this is on a ball peg. Doesn't really do much other than kind of adjust with the shoulder. Same thing on this side. You're not really getting it out of the way in any significant way, but let's see what we can do. We can raise the arm up. It's got a nice ratchet in there, but you can see here, with this kind of material, you have to like really get extra material in there, stitching like up into the armpit so that when you raise the arm, it doesn't do this. So that's as high as his arm can raise, and his outfit has just totally deformed to look goofy. Not ideal. Rotating his arm forward works pretty well. That's going to be the best way to hide the bodysuit, honestly, is to bring the arm forward. It works okay, and then bending the elbow works. The elbow pads and knee pads are separate pieces on elastic, so you can adjust them if you want to, but you still only get about 90 degrees. Do you get a bicep swivel? Yes, and it works pretty well. Like, the material they used isn't terrible in general. It just happens to be at this scale, it looks bad. It's not killing the articulation other than where it's like not stitched properly to do that. You see how he's got like a bat wing going on? That's not ideal. All right, and then you do get nothing there, no wrist swivel. You get a little ball hinge at this wrist, but it's a tiny little one, so it's not super strong. It's okay. It's okay. For the torso, I don't know what's going on exactly. It feels like there's an upper and a lower torso, but there's not a lot of range. You can't lean back at all because the zipper can't stretch. There's no stretch in that zipper, and there's no real play. Like, it'll move a little bit underneath, but he's not really going anywhere. That's mostly just his neck leaning back. So you can adjust it some, and then leaning forward, it bunches too much. So yeah, his torso's kind of jacked. Not good. You do get a waist twist in there, which works okay. He can lean side to side, but it doesn't really want to do it. This figure is everything that's wrong with soft goods, especially with a material like this. It's not great. Now let's see about the legs. Can we, because that zipper goes so far down. Let's see. So you can bring his leg up pretty far, but you get that stretch going on here. You really have to get the crotch and the armpits high up in there, all up in there, in order to make it function properly. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's okay, but it does not look good. It ends up looking like he's wearing like coveralls rather than a suit. Like, okay, I can't even do the legs because of this. They need to get that crotch way up in there. You have to jam the crotch way up high. Same thing with the armpits. I'll say it over and over again, so hopefully whoever's designing these things can figure it out, because this is just that's not working, okay? There's a thigh swivel in there, but it's useless. Double jointed knee is okay. It's functional enough. Now here's the thing that just is like, what are you thinking? Unless this is some kind of crazy new material, this is really soft PVC. It almost feels like silicone, but it looks like it's painted, so I'm not sure on the material, but it's crazy soft plastic of some sort. I can't imagine it's actually silicone. I think it's just really soft plastic, and I can't tell what the joint is inside. It feels like just ball pegs. But the plastic is not soft enough. Like, you get some use out of it, but that's gonna deteriorate, right? It has to. And the sculpt is weird, so I don't think that's the right play at all for this. It's not functional, and it's ugly. Like, just do what you did here. PVC with a ball hinge. Why is this here? That is not a good call. That is gonna fall apart. I think, even if you don't touch it, there's a good chance it deteriorates, and if you pose it, it seems to me like it will. But again, I can't say for sure what material that is, so it's questionable. But his articulation blows. Can he pose? Yeah. Is it going to be easy to pose him? No. Is it going to look particularly good when you pose him? No. Is it going to hide the ugliness? Maybe some. Is it enough? I would say no. I'm going to give his articulation a 5 out of 10. It's okay. And so now it's time for the final verdict. I think this figure is perfect for somebody who wants a Judge Dredd figure at this scale but doesn't care at all about any of the things I talked about in the video. And that, it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. That's a type of collector. Some people will buy anything, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's your prerogative. It's your money. It's your collection. Do whatever you want. But for anybody with a discerning eye, for any of the things I've mentioned, I'm not sure this is going to work for you. It's not going to work for me. I'm not a Judge Dredd fan, but I hate the suit. He doesn't have weird proportioning like most Mezco figures. His head's not huge, and his suit's not as good looking as some of theirs, but it is as bad as some of theirs. So it's hard for me to say. I personally, not caring at all, I can't look past the problems. Some of you might be able to. It's good outside of the suit, mostly, but it is not what I think they should have gone for. If they had a choice, I think this was the wrong one. If they didn't have a choice, then it is what it is, and you have to decide if you want to buy it or not. But ultimately, that's what you have to do anyway. So I'm going to give this an overall rating, everything included, not overlooking anything, at like a generous 6 out of 10, maybe a 5. At a distance, you can ignore the problems for sure. Like, if you just squint a little bit, it's not bad. But up close, that suit's rough. And I know I've said this a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different times now, but it is not good. I have to be clear here. And if this doesn't prove to you guys that I will review anything fairly, no matter who gives me what for free, then I don't know what to tell you. But there is good about this figure, but it is not good enough, if you ask me, all things considered. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.